Welcome to the brand new format for the Look Forward To series, the show where we look at all the biggest and best releases in the world of film and games this coming month. We are HomeScreen, I'm George.
And I'm Jordan, and we'll start looking forward to June with the games, because there really aren't that many, but we'll get on to that later. Your first serve-in on June the 6th comes in the form of the Wipeout Omega Collection for PS4, a remastered release of both Wipeout HD, Wipeout 2048, and a bit from Wipeout Fury, which was a DLC collection for Wipeout HD.
Wipeout has been synonymous with rapid action anti-gravity racing since its first release back in 1995. A simpler time when a soundtrack made almost entirely of the Chemical Brothers and Kraftwerk, combined with colours and racetracks moving so quick it would make the cast of Tron cry. Considering the games they have chosen to remaster achieve the most middle-of-the-road review scores in the series, with 2048 sitting at just 79% on Metacritic, compared to a series high of 93% in the form of Wipeout 2097, there'd better be something special to get all those armchair pilots back into their seats. But what do we get in this remaster, I hear you ask?
Nobody was asking, but for a start, it's the first Wipeout game for almost 5 years, and the last time fans got to play Wipeout was with 2048, which was a PS Vita exclusive.
Oh, good.
And whilst it was praised at the time for its use of the console, criticism was rife when discussing the load times. Some reviewers had to wait up to 30 seconds in between selecting start race and actually racing, and nobody has time for that nowadays. PlayStation Blog boasts the collection will feature stunning 4K and HDR display at a targeted 60 FPS. 460 FPS.
There's so many frames.
Obviously, that's running on a PlayStation Pro.
Course. 26 tracks and 46 unique ships are included, making this one of the most comprehensive Wipeout games to date. And I have no doubt this thing will be padded with DLC, in the form of ships and tracks like every traditional racing game is.
Absolutely will. One thing is for sure, a collector's edition leaked onto Reddit, and it is awesome. Styled after the original PlayStation 1 cases, it is a lesson in how to make special editions. This isn't the only PS4 news for this month, as the next release, Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood DLC, comes out on June the 20th on PC, Mac, and of course PS4.
Stormblood is the second expansion for Final Fantasy XIV, and it includes a whole bunch of new things to do. With an increased level cap across all in-game disciplines, it includes 2 new jobs, a new battling system, new areas to explore, 2 new beast tribes, a new 24-man raid series.
In addition to this, the expansion revamps the inventory system, includes a new sprawling city to create all sorts of havoc in, and brings the series right up to 2017. They have added the ability to swim. Well done, Square Enix, we did it. We did it.
We did it.
Together, we did it.
Mario. Stormblood will cost somewhere between £30 and £40, depending on your gaming station of choice. That's around $40 to $50. Next up is yet another remaster in the form of the Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy, which again is a PS4 exclusive release. It's a dry month for Xbox.
The N. Sane Trilogy contains a fully remastered version of the first 3 games in the series, Crash Bandicoot, Cortex Strikes Back, and Crash Vortex. Thankfully no mention of Crash Tag Team Racing. After its release in 1996, the original Crash was extremely well received, and today it has sold well over 6.8 million copies, making it one of the best-selling PlayStation games of all time.
It spent almost 2 years in the top 20 weekly selling video games in America and was still shifting colossal amounts by the time the third installment was out. The remaster brings in the time trial feature first introduced in Warped for all 3 games, as well as what Vicarious Visions promised will be a whole new host of features across the trilogy.
PC survival Chase 'em Up Dead by Daylight is set to get a console release for both Xbox and PS4, bringing the joy of meat-hooking friends to even more homes.
Thank God.
It launches on both marketplaces June the 23rd and is sure to cross the 2 million sales mark. After it was revealed it sold over 1 million copies on PC in the game's first 2 months alone. The rest of the month is made up of Tekken 7, Dirt 4 and the upcoming SO Morrowind expansion, yet it may seem there just isn't much coming out in June, and that's because it's almost Game of Christmas again, in the form of E3.
The E3 gaming conferences this year take place on Saturday the 10th of June to Monday the 12th. EA are up first on the 10th, followed by Xbox and Bethesda, who rumour has it are showing off 2 brand new IPs, or at least 2 new games, at their conference on the 11th. As Sony PlayStation takes the last day, Monday the 12th, with Ubisoft and Nintendo also due to host across the weekend.
That does it for the games news and releases in June, unless E3 produces surprise releases for Destiny 2 and Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Do it.
Possible, highly unlikely, possible. So it's time to move on to the movies, with the first big release being an addition to the simply glowing DC cinematic universe, with Wonderwoman hitting screens with that big old crown of hers on June the 2nd.
It's being directed by... It's being...
Directed. Directed by Patty Jenkins.
I like to be directed by things. It's being directed by Patty Jenkins in her first really big role as director, following the success of her first film, Monster, in 2003, which got her nominated for several awards, including the Independent Spirit Award for Best First Feature. Zack Snyder dips his toe in again as the overlord of all things DLC, and DLC DLC. Of all things, downloadable content. No.
There we go.
Okay, Zack Snyder dips his toe in again as the overlord of all things DC and helped contribute to the story, which sees the titular heroine leaving her home island of Themyscira. Themyscira.
Thyroid?
One day I'll get that right. To go to London to try and end World War One, which, as we all know, is absolutely historically correct.
Absolutely happened. Although Jenkins is at the helm now, the film has been in development since 1996, and a whole host of names have been attached and thrown away across the past 20 or so years, including Snyder himself to direct, Joss Whedon and Paul Feig, director of such illustrious films as Heat, Spy, and 2016's Ghostbusters remake.
Wow. As with all recent superhero films, expect a lot of visual effects, this film having none other than the VFX supervisor of Stuart Little 1 and 2, Babe Pig in the City, Waterworld, and Cats and Dogs.
Jesus.
Bill Westenhofer, everyone. Give him a clap. Bill Westenhofer.
Well done, Bill. Good job with the pig.
Who, despite this resume, is genuinely a two-time Academy Award and BAFTA winner for his work on The Golden Compass and The Life of Pi. Is this DC's last chance?
Probably not, but they will need to pull something very special out of the bag to convince cinemagoers to keep trusting them after the less than complimentary reception to both Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad. Next up is another promising young hopeful in the shape of one Thomas Cruise in yet another Mummy film, unwrapping itself on June the 9th, just in time for my birthday.
Oh. We all had a good laugh a few months ago when an IMAX trailer was released featuring only Tom Cruise's screams. But with this instalment of the Universal Monsters universe, say that 3 times faster, be laughing all the way to the bank with summer box office receipts.
It has a budget of a reported $125 million, and with such a crowded summer lineup, and considering this is the second reboot of the Mummy series after the 1930s.
True classic, loved it.
Peak of Mummy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
People may already be bored.
The film also stars Sofia Boutella, who got the role after director Alex Kurtzman was impressed with her performance as the leg blade wielding badass Gazelle in The Kingsman. There really is no telling whether this is going to be a huge success and pay tribute to Brendan Fraser. Oh, we love you, Brendan. In the way we all know he deserves. Or whether it's going to be another Ben-Hur, remaking a loved film with disastrous consequences for both the actors involved and the purse of the production company.
The third big release of June is subtly titled Owen Wilson Needs Cash, or its better known subtitle, Cars 3. Lightning McQueen returns in what from the trailer looks like a grittier version of the Pixar merchandise juggernaut. Well, as gritty as a bright red RC car throwing itself around Daytona can be.
It comes with a load of cameos, including Lewis Hamilton, Nathan Fillion, and already 11 confirmed NASCAR drivers.
It's too many.
The franchise has already grossed $1 billion at the box office from the 2 previous offerings, as well as the insane $10 billion in merchandise in the first 5 years of its life alone.
This is Pixar's 18th film, and as always, it comes with a pre-roll short, this time titled Lou, which is about the life of a lost and found box, so
Wow.
That'll be enthralling.
Groundbreaking.
Nothing will ever beat Lava ever, just stop trying Pixar, we are done.
June 23rd sees the release of Transformers: The Last Night. We will spend as long on that as they did writing the script.
Despicable Me is also coming out to round off June's big animated features on June the 30th. The writers of the 2 previous installments return to give the hero Gru, played by Steve Carell, a battle royale with an 80s supervillain who has recently become the most method actor of all time by growing into his role and is hellbent on world domination.
South Park creator Trey Parker voices the character of Balthazar Bratt, and the supporting cast includes Kristen Wiig, Miranda Cosgrove, and Steve Coogan, and will more than likely be a strong competitor to the second Despicable Me film, which itself broke records to become Universal's most profitable film in its 100-year history, making over $900 million profit.
The last film to consider in June is from director Edgar Wright, and it's called Baby Driver, and you should probably see this over everything else we've mentioned.
Yep.
Wright has previously directed the 3 Colours Ice Cream trilogy, which featured Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, and included Shaun of the Dead or The World's End, and the channel's collective favourite film, Hot Fuzz.
Yep, love it.
Nope.
Since its debut at South by Southwest, Baby Driver has been praised by critics across the world to such an extent the release date was moved forward, a rarity in the era of delays and pushbacks. The plot revolves around a getaway driver who is escaping a mysterious criminal played by Kevin Spacey.
Excuse me, that's President Underwood to you.
Sorry, escaping Mr. President, but with a twist. He's entirely dependent on his own personal soundtrack, so expect something akin to the awesome Mixtape Volume 1, smashed at high speed into Volume 2 with a few more offerings to complete the set list.
This probably won't be as highly publicised as his previous films, and after a small falling out with Marvel over
Little
Ant-Man, just a little ant-sized one, it'll be interesting to see how this does in both box office and DVD sales, seeing as the 3 before didn't really perform well in America anyway.
Well, that pretty much rounds up June. Thanks for watching. We'll be doing this every month from here on, hopefully.
Well, we've invested in this bloody green screen now, so we have to.
Yep, broke the bank. Be sure to subscribe if you've enjoyed, and check out these other videos below of us generally being awful at games.
Give us more money to get more green screens.
We have no money, anyway.
More green screens.
Some money would help.
This is boring. This is a tea towel.
Alright, I'm leaving.